All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Right now, it's just me and Evie here. This episode is going to be incredible. First off, Bam Bam Barberena, my new co-host, and we talked to Corey Overtime Anderson, Bellator light heavyweight champion, who's been making waves online, talking a little bit of smack. But we will see what he thinks about PFL, Bellator, and all the nonsense that's been going on. Then we switch over to a man who's in the PFL 2025 tournament for the heavyweights. He is Linton Big Swarm Vassell. That dude, very positive about the whole situation. I saw him online talking and being very happy about being in the tournament. So we're like, I got to get this guy on to balance out Corey. So let's see what happens. Let's see how these two men both talk about PFL and the situation that's going on. How's Don Davis? Who is that guy? And how is he with the athletes? And a whole bunch more. Guys, welcome to the show. This is the Fight Insight podcast. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fight Insight podcast. Let's talk.
Look at that. That was before you were even the official co-host, Bam Bam. Our guest today is the reigning and defending asterisk there, I think, Bellator light heavyweight champion. He won the title on March 22nd, 2024. However, we have not seen the man since, Bam Bam. Last week, we heard our mutual friend, Taylor Killa B. Starling, calling Vadim Nemkov a duck, because that should have been the fight we see right around now or earlier. Yeah. That was the trilogy we wanted to see. There's been no word on what's next, no word on what's happening with the Bellator titles, and no word on any PFL versus Bellator card. That was supposed to be an annual event. Where is that thing? So anyways, we sent out the Fight Insight Army, Bam Bam, and we got this man to come on the podcast. He's a friend of yours. Now he's a friend of the podcast. I'm so excited to have him here today. Our first ever reigning Bellator champion. This is Corey Overtime Anderson. Look at him. Corey.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen on camera?
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Not bad.
Good. Happy to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be on. I don't usually do fight media, but like I said, have so many of you guys your people reach out and say it was such a good podcast and good people. It's like, you know what? I'll do it. I give them the benefit of the doubt and jump on.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate the time. Now, how is it that you know Bam Bam, Corey?
We was in the UFC together. I think we fought on the card together and talking in the back. And I remember he had bought a farm. He posted something about the farm, and I commented something about hunting, and we went back and forth about that for a little bit. Yep. And that's our relationship.
Actually, you came to Arizona too when I was living there, and we played some paintball.
Yep, that's right. With the MMA labs and all those guys. Yep. Went to that's right. I forgot she was there. Me, OSP, Brian Ortega, Tisha Torres. Yeah. We was out there training with Exos. Yeah, I remember that.
That's right. Yeah, did some paintball and inside arena. It's pretty cool.
That was dope though. That was fun.
Yeah, got to get that going again, man. Like life is short. Enjoy those moments, man.
That was a long time ago. That was before I even had a woman. Nah, I'm married. That was years ago.
Instead of paintball, we got to get together and do a hunting trip or something. I've never hunted before, so we got to get going.
You never hunted before?
No, it's something I want to get into. So my kids want to get into it too. So now that we have land and have the farm and stuff too,
I'll say you got the land for it. Just go up behind your house. What are you waiting for? You ain't got to go nowhere.
I guess I've been out. I haven't seen anything though.
Oh, okay. You need somebody to teach you. That's what you need. A mentor. I got.
There you go.
That's what you got to do.
Taking people out. It's like coaching. I love helping and coaching. That's my dream.
Awesome.
That's it. Well, Corey, I really appreciate you coming on, man. And really, the first question I have to ask you, because it may sway where this interview goes. Has anybody from PFL reached out to you? Has Don Davis reached out to you since all this media going on?
I haven't talked to Don, but I've talked to Mike Kogan, who is the president of Bellator. Like when all this went down, first thing I messaged him, so what's your job title now? It's like if Bellator knows more, you're the Bellator president, what is your job title now? He just shrugged his, send me the shrugging shoulders emoji. But we've been in contact, and there's nothing set. There's nothing in stone or what they're working on. They trying to get the bracket, I guess, filled out for the PFL. And then that's when they're going to, after they do that, then they'll start getting other fights. I guess that's what it sounds like.
So okay, so then can I take it then that you don't want to be in the tournament? Obviously,
no. I've tried to be in the tournament last year when it was the Dragon. Feel like, yo, just put me in the tournament, something. If you ain't got nothing, but I make too much money for the tournament. The way the format and pay works out, it's conflict. What is it? Something he said, but it means like I make too much more than what is willing to pay for the tournament. All right, I get that.
Because I think that's when they had said that previously the tournament or the season, however you want to call it, at the end that $1 million was a culmination of all your earnings, and then they would top it up if anything. And Bam Bam and I joked before saying, well, if you earn too much, you might owe them money at the end.
Yeah, possibly. Well, like I said, they put me in it because I was making too much. If your contract is just too big, we can't put you in there. Like, what? I mean, I'll take less. I don't want to. Like, nah, it ain't worth it.
Yeah, but staying active.
But at the time, that's the thing. At the time, they're like, oh, we're going to get you a fight. Don't worry about it. Like, you sure? You're going to fight for title, you're going to fight again. Then I had a fight. Then that fight got canceled. As you see, 3 cards got squashed at the end of the year. And we're back at the drawing board. And hopefully they say we're getting 2 fights a year or 2 fights this year. Everybody said it. My manager said he talked to them, and that's the plan. So fingers crossed, knock on wood. Hopefully it happens.
Yeah, man. Like we really.
Exactly. You said.
Yeah. No. Go, Bam.
No, it's just like and you're constantly staying ready. You know, I see you on your social media. You know, staying ready, staying active. I guess you're kind of just waiting for something to take play, huh? Here and you know, now you're waiting on the tournament to get figured out. Hopefully, get matched up. I know the guy who wanted to fight is got rematched up. He ducked you and now it's matched up with somebody else.
That's crazy. Even Don, if you see, I don't know if you've seen the interview Don did with Mike Heck last week. Even he said at the very end, he said, "Okay, one last thing before it goes. What happened with the Vadim Nemkov and Corey Anderson fight?" It's exactly what Corey Anderson and everybody's been saying. Like it happened exactly like the contracts were signed. He was supposed to fight out of nowhere. He changed his mind, so I need more time. And I think what happened is he thought I was going to take the fight and wasn't training. And I feel like somebody from his team looked and said, like, no, this dude been training nonstop. And he was like, okay, never mind. We don't want to fight. Because I even messaged Kogan at first, like, yo, you for real? Like, y'all pull up my channel. He really took the fight. Like, no. He said he's down. He's down to take the fight. I was like, bet. I'm on my way to Vegas in the morning, give him my medicals, get everything set. I'm going to do it all in Vegas. I'm ready to go. 2 days later, he called me like, oh, he changed his mind now. Like, what? No. My wife saw a tweet from somebody on his side saying we never agreed to the fight. And I sent it to him like, he agreed. That's why you got the contract. Then he called me that night like, oh, he changed his mind now. Like, oh, this buster. And everybody like, why would he be scared? He don't want to fight you. Or he has no reason to be scared of you. He already beat you. Then he did an interview and said, well, I do want to fight. I just don't want to fight Corey Anderson. Like, okay, that means you're ducking me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then they couldn't punish him. What they told him was like, we can't punish him and make him not, or make him sit out, or make him fight you because you weren't the original opponent. And I get that, but they're like, we definitely want this fight. This is a fight we need. It's a big fight. People want to see this fight. It was 2 different outcomes. You got to settle it. He wasn't trying to settle it. So.
But the crazy thing though is, Corey, is that, you know, the Champion Series, and we've been talking about this on the podcast forever. This is episode 207. I feel like I've been talking about it for 207 episodes. The Champion Series for Bellator was supposed to be 2 title fights every card.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did it maybe for the first one, and after that they were struggling. Some cards had 0 title fights, and that's was so weird. Like for all of 2024, we're looking at all the Bellator champions that are just sitting there not fighting, and we're very confused because we're like, well, how are these titles going to get defended throughout the year, and what happens to these athletes? So even the fight now where Nemkov is on this card coming up, it makes no sense because there's no title and it's called Champion Series. So, but yet there's only one champion on the card.
The main card is a title fight. The main fight is Usman or Islam. Is it Usman? Is Usman versus Paul Hughes.
Right.
And then other than that, I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. They promised us 2 fights, Corey. So even if Vadim
should be you there.
That's what I'm saying. So even if Vadim didn't want to fight you, they should have said, okay, well, Vadim, you get out of here. Corey's going to be on the card, and he'll defend against someone else.
Well, originally, like I said, my first fight, second defense was going to be me versus Joe Romero in Saudi Arabia last October. Then that fight got canceled. Then they told me, all right, we're going to book that for January. So just keep saying ready, this and this. We're going to do it for January. Then, I don't know if y'all remember, Yo went off and did that underground boxing thing with Mike Perry.
Yeah.
Well, they thought it was like a breach of contract, but then come to find out, now he signed with GFL. His contract has ended, I guess. And he decided not to sign back. So that kind of message, that was the last time I messaged Kogan when I saw that. Like, well, I guess that fight's gone. Like, yeah. So now what we going to do? And that's when he said, well, we got to figure out the bracket. Once the bracket and everything is filled out, then we can start figuring out who's left, who's not in the tournament, who's able to fight. So I don't know. Like I said, they say we're going to fight, and we're getting 2 this year. So I'm just going to keep faith in God, and hopefully they keep their word and we get it done. If not, my contract is over in October, and that's just we're either going to have to go to court, get some kind of money. They're going to have to pay something. We're going to figure it out. But to sit on the shelf for 2 years with no action when you told me we would, that's crazy.
Well, that's something then, because we've talked about this on the podcast before too, Bam, because Corey, like, we've had other Bellator fighters on the card, or sorry, on the podcast, and they say that the Bellator contracts, and I think this is what you're alluding to, they lock you in for a certain amount of time. And I know you had tweeted out saying that it was a 2-year contract, but now it's extended to 3 years because once you turn champion, it's got that 1-year addition. But it doesn't stipulate a number of fights in your contract, right?
Mine had fights in the contract. So mine was years and fights. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if we get to end the contract and we didn't get our fights, like I already said to Kogan, like, yo, what that happened? He said, that's just something we got to take up with legal, I guess. I don't know. They said they're going to get you your fights, so hopefully they get you your fights. So,
okay. So there is a number of contracts, a number of fights, but it's not a number of fights per year. It's just a number of fights per the length of the contract.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
okay.
What about?
At least you got that. I mean, at least you got that compared to some of the people we talked with. Some of the people we talked with, they didn't have that in their contract, even, fights set up in it. So it's a good thing that you have that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's why it pays to have a good manager.
Yeah.
I mean? There's been times like, I don't need no manager. I can do this myself. I've been in this game 10 years, 9 years. I got this figured out now. But then you get to this position where it's negotiation and all that, where some managers, they don't think to put that in there. They go, we signed for 2 years, and they see the dollar signs. We get that 10%, or we get that 15, 20. When you got a manager like I have Ali Abdelaziz, the top manager out there. So I know when it comes to negotiations and contracts, if he sent it to me, he didn't went through the ringer, he didn't send it to his attorneys, everything is checked out, it's good to sign. And like, even when I ask, like, what if we don't get the fights? It's like, we worry about that when we get there. Well, they're going to give us some fights, so let's wait and see. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Wait and see.
All right. Well, that's good news, man. Can I ask? I mean, I don't want to know the dollar amount, but when you said that they'll put you into the tournament, but they would reduce the pay, like, what percentage were they going to reduce it? Did you ever get to that point? They never
said reduce. I said you can reduce me. I was saying just so I can fight. Like, I wanted to fight. Like, I've been sitting. Just reduce me. Let me get in there. I'll take less and just if I fight a bunch more. If I'm fighting 4 times in a year, some money is better than no money.
Yeah,
like, right. People say, like, it wouldn't even be worth it for you. And he's like, your contract is good. I said, bro, your contract don't mean nothing if I ain't making no money. He's like, I guess you got a point there. Like 100%. Like, I got to make something. I don't care if it's 20,000. If I make 20,000 4 times, that's 80 grand. That's more than I make right now sitting on my hands and feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and no way I would want to fight for that. I ain't fought for that in like 8-9 years, but still. It's like, if that was what it came down to, just to get another fight, if I had to, I got a family. I got mouths to feed. I got things to do. So
right,
absolutely.
While you were talking to
what's something for them, like,
go ahead, Bam. Sorry. No, go ahead. There might be lag.
I was just curious.
Is lagging, so when you start talking, he don't hear, and he'll talk, and you already know. Sauna, no connection in the sauna room.
No, gotta get sweat going though.
All that sweat's getting in the earphones, just messing it up.
Yeah.
But what was you asking? What was you saying?
I was just curious, like, how are you dealing with, this time off, and how are you dealing with like the time of, fights falling through, and waiting for the fights to come up now for them to decide on the tournament, like. How are you staying sane? Like, how are you staying balanced and like a strong mind and everything? I know, you're praying to God, and that's good. You have faith and everything, so that's a strong thing. But is there anything else that you're doing too on top of that, or just it's training?
That's
just
it,
gotta
man.
get through it, right?
Everything in the last 4 or 5 months, but my whole life, I always put faith in God. Whatever I've always said, it's God's plan. The first Nemkov fight, when I did the headbutt, the way it happened, and they're like, "Oh, if I was Corey Anderson, I'd be pissed right now. He should be mad. How can I be pissed? I can't be mad at God's plan. It obviously wasn't supposed to happen. If I get mad, I'm mad at him. It's gonna happen eventually. Might not happen today. It might not happen the next time, but eventually I'll get my belt." And sure enough, it did. I got my belt. And I tell my wife when she gets frustrated, like, "Oh, because we have 2 homes. Right now we're in Indiana, but we go back and forth from Indiana and train in Jersey. So we'll upload because they say we got to fight. We'll pack the cars. We drive 10 hours. We get there. We start training. We feeling good. She's cooking my meals. She got homeschool for the kids, different things, do library runs, orders here, orders there. Then they call me and say the fight's canceled. So we got to load up and come back to Indiana. So she gets frustrated. We moving kids back and forth, canceling our plans, doing this, doing that, birthdays, holidays. And I just tell her, like, "Yo, calm down." She's like, "You should be more vocal. I want you to be mad. You should be upset saying this." And I said to her, like, "Mad for what? Like, what am I going to do? Get mad and piss somebody off?" Like, God got it. No matter what, we straight. Like, we didn't save our money. Ain't like we balling. And like, we got money we can spend. But at the same time, it's not like we out here with a jar on the corner. Like, "Oh, can you spare us some change? We got enough." We invested in different things where money is coming in where we can stay afloat until the next fight. And we got the rentals and we got the properties that we've bought. That's the end game where we can just sell the land. If we ever get hard times, somebody want that land. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I tell all the time, like, we can't do nothing but just have faith in God. We read our Bible every day. We pray and just pray He going to lead us in the right direction. If it comes down to it that we don't get another fight, hopefully He had a plan where it's over. We get a payment and we open our gym or the next plan, whatever it is. But everything I do, I can't really, especially when you got a family, you can't act irrational. Yeah. Because it's going to come back to hurt you in a certain way, or it can affect you in the future. It's just kind of keep a level head, kind of play the game. You don't want to be a pushover. You got a voice. You got to make your voice heard. Let them know, like, I need my fights. I want my money. Let them know the president. But at the same time, I just pray every morning, like, God, that maybe that today you lead it to we get answers. Or God, make sure at the end of this week everything is all right. Or God, make the next plan. Whatever it is we're praying for to happen, that it's in His will. Yeah. Like my coach told me years ago. It might not happen. Yeah, my coach told me years ago in college, and I was super upset. Like, what you upset about? He said, it might not work out the way you wanted to, but it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. There ain't nothing you can do about that. Just enjoy the ride, man. And now with the faith in that, that's just life. I got my family. I'm training every day. I'm spending plenty of time with the family. I got the hunting show. I got the properties. I'm keeping myself busy. It's hard to stay sane because I love fighting and I want to punch somebody in the face. But at the same time, it's just when I start getting antsy or anything, I stop and say a prayer. And when I come to, I'm calm. That's
it's really crazy, Corey, because like totally. And Corey, it's so nice to hear because that's one of the things that people have to do in life. Like with as crazy as the world is getting as well, it's about staying balanced. It's about staying centered among yourself and your family and your loved ones and being able to just like ignore all the negativity in the world. You know what I mean? Like being able to do that is incredible because Bam Bam, that's the answer to your question, right? How's he able to stay sane? It's because this guy's got a super positive outlook on life. He's got faith and he's got, belief, and that's what gets him through. And it's so important, Corey. That's like something that everybody needs to have in their life. So I'm glad that you have it. I know on a lot of interviews you always talk about your wife and what a great support she is and how she's helping you out. So I'm really happy for that for you, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest part of it all. And I've had talks with, like when I talked to Don Fry before, I talked to like Tim Sylvia and I talked to these guys. And the biggest thing they always say is like, "Oh, how much longer you got left? Oh, you sure you got all your money?" And I've heard the horror stories of like, "Oh, I have my wife." Like I think Don Fry was the one that said he had the wife, and when she left, he took all the money and all this. If you don't have the right support system that's with you for the right reasons, and I told my girl before we was even engaged, when we was first dating, she moved into my house. I'll never forget. It was one night in bed. And I rolled over and I looked at her like, "I just want you to know, I'm never going to get to the point in my life where I have to fight. I say, what do you mean? Like, meaning, like, I'm good with my money. I say, it's never going to be a point in my life where we're going to have to fight to pay bills. I was like, I don't live above the means. I don't go out and buy fancy jewelry and all this stuff. I ain't got the money. I don't need it. So I've always been smart with my money. I drive a beater around when I'm in fight camp, and people are like, why do you drive that? Why do I wear free monster shirts and stuff that people gave me because I'm saving my money? Like I tell her, we're never going to have to fight. She understood that. And I knew from the get-go, I got to go. She used to fight. She understands the game. She understands the business. She understands the diet. And she understands how the money comes. Like, we get our check, but we're going to send ours to Uncle Sam first. Because he's going to give it at the end of the year. We're going to send that big check to him, and then we'll get something back at the end of the year if we overpay. And she understands that. So she handles the books for me. So I can train and do all the other stuff, and she take care of the kids. And every morning she's here doing the accounting stuff on QuickBooks, making sure our accountant got everything set. So we never in that spot like, oh, what are we going to do now? It's like I said, to have a great wife and to have the faith that we have is nothing short, but unbelievable. And I'm grateful and thankful for it all.
It's amazing, man, because it's such a dichotomy of like what social media sees in fighters. Like they just see those crazy lunatics and doing all those crazy things. And then here's Corey, just such a grounded individual that's doing all the right things, Bam. But Corey, I do want to ask you, have you asked if you are the PFL light heavyweight champion?
Yeah, I've asked that.
Are they just going to give you the belt? Like, how does this work?
So from what I'm hearing from manager and somebody I talked to, the first fight that we have, you'll see here January 25th when Usman fights, he'll be fighting to defend the PFL belt. But the winner, I guess, will get the new belt. So but they haven't put that on any poster. Like people on Bellator and PFL Instagram accounts are going crazy because every time they put a photo, they show Usman with the Bellator belt, and people are like, so is he defending the Bellator belt? Because obviously not, but why don't they just say this is for the inaugural PFL championship title, right? Like, why aren't they saying that? I mean, same reason a lot of things ain't been said. Like I told my wife, Don is like, I feel like he's so big in like the business aspect. And one thing, my dad's a businessman, self-made businessman, successful. And he always told me growing up, you never let the left hand know what the right hand got playing. And I feel like that's kind of what Don is doing, I feel. He keeps making these big announcements. He's tweeting big things to do his interviews. And it's not like it's ever big shocking news like, oh, my God, this is going to change the game. But I feel like he's so stuck in that business world, he doesn't want to say it to anybody and it get leaked. He's going to save it like it's going to be a big announcement. You know what I mean? It's kind of like they say, you're going to keep throwing crap at the wall to see what sticks. And he's going to keep, in my head, I feel like he's just saving everything up he has planned, what he's thinking, his notes, and he's going to drop it on a podcast or an interview, and hopefully one of them take off. Instead of mentioning it to a fighter, and then one of us mention it to somebody, and they leak it to Ariel Helwani. Because we all know Ariel going to get it. If anybody else know, Ariel going to figure it out. And
Ariel won't get it if you tell Timmy and Bam Bam right now, Corey.
Well, I can't tell y'all because he ain't told me.
He did tell us the belt, this belt with Usman and stuff is now the inaugural PFL belt or whatever, So
so we're gonna see. Like I said, this is what I've heard from a few different people. I ain't heard it from Don. It's from a few people. Yeah. few different people I know that talk to Don or been in the industry. So we gonna see on the 25th. And they're going to be like, oh, these guys are fighting for a new belt. Or it'll mess around and be like, oh, that was just a 3-round fight to see who's going to fight for the belt next. They might throw us a curveball. You know what they say nowadays, never let them know your next move.
But isn't the problem, Corey, though, is like if you want to get people to watch that event, if you want to get people to watch that card, first of all, put Corey Anderson on the card. But secondly, you should be saying this is for the PFL title belt so that, and maybe you don't want to show the belt yet. So you go, hey, it will be revealed at that card. Like you got to do something to build up hype because by the time this podcast comes out in a few days, that fight is like tomorrow. And if the general public doesn't know that that's for the PFL belt, if we don't have a reason to watch, the public now thinks we're watching a dead belt get defended for no reason. Like, that's what's a little bit strange.
I think more people are going to care about the fight because of the Russia versus Ireland. I don't think the belt really matters, regardless. They hyping up the fight. You hear they keep saying, "Oh, Ireland versus Russia 2." They doing these interviews with Paul or Hughes where he's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna knock Islam out." Now, Islam and them saying the Ireland wrestling is nowhere near compared to ours. They hyping it up their own ways. Then the icing on the cake is gonna hopefully be fight night when they announce this new belt or show this new belt. People gonna pop. But the thing is, it's gonna be hard to pop if ain't nobody in the arena. That is the issue.
That's the problem.
They do a good job promoting the whole card, but I don't think if you say you go from just saying Usman and the other guy Hughes, and also now you say, "Oh, the title fight," I don't think people are gonna be, "Oh my God, title fight!" Now I'm really gonna see it. If you're gonna see it, you're gonna see it. Like if you're gonna watch it, you're gonna watch it because of two guys, not for what's on the line. It's already been hyped up enough as Ireland versus Russia. Like now, they called and said Nimkov and Tim Johnson is not fighting for the title. You think anybody gonna be even more hyped? Like, oh my God, Tim? No, it's gonna be the same thing. He ducked Corey Anderson to get to this fight. Nobody's gonna put any more stake in the fact that the title's on it now. It's the fight. You got to fight between the fighters.
I'm a sucker for stuff, man. So if you tell me they're gonna make a debut of some belt, I'm watching for that belt more than the fight, maybe. But
you the guy walking to the grocery store buying stuff that look nice. Like, oh, that look good. I want to know what that is. Let me take it home and see. And find out it's just an empty can. Like, they got me
again. Do you have cameras hidden in my house, Corey? Like you sound like you know me quite a bit.
The way you just said it, like I'm looking at the belt, like, nah, that's the wrong attitude.
I don't know.
It's like my wife go look at these houses. When we're buying houses, like, don't get excited. We gotta look at other stuff first. Don't get excited about the first thing now.
You know, here's something about the card though, Bam, is that I've been posting this on every PFL post and every Bellator post that announces this, that talks about this card, because I can't figure out what the answer is. Corey, maybe you know. Why is it called Road to Dubai? What's happening? Like, what is this Road to Dubai, and what happens at the end of it, and when is it? Do you understand what that means, Road to Dubai?
Maybe that's staying the next card. Remember last time when they said the Battle of the Giants, it was the Road to Dubai. It was the Road to Dubai, then it turned the Battle of the Giants when Ngannou decided he was going to come back to fight. But the big fight was going to be in Dubai. That was the big
Corey Anderson, Dubai.
Yeah, it was supposed to be me and Joe Romero. Then all of a sudden, Francis came back and switched to the Battle of the Giants. So I think that's just saying, that's kind of right there. There you go. That's a little bait he throwing out there. Got you wondering, what's in Dubai? So guess what you're going to do? Every time you're going to pay attention and watch all the post-fight and pre-fight stuff to find out what is the Dubai thing.
Yeah. What is there? What is at the end? I just wish that whoever's running their social media account would say, hey, this is what this is, right? Because it's like they've never announced. It's so weird that they say like Road to Dubai, but they've never explained it's a road leading to what.
They leave you.
Yeah, exactly. Like Brian, it's a cliffhanger. If you watch a show like, okay, Sopranos, you see the Sopranos?
Yeah.
And the ending when the bells go off and all of a sudden they go off and you all go, what happens? What happens? And to this day, nobody knows. But if you talk to anybody about Sopranos, that's the first thing they bring up. Yo, that ending was whack. Like, what happened? That's it. But you always gonna talk about it. So when they got guys like you that's paying attention to those details, what is in Dubai? You're gonna tune into every interview. You're gonna tune into every fight to figure out what's in Dubai. A lot of people don't care because most people don't care for PFL anymore or Bellator, whatever you want to call it, all this. But those that do, they're gonna watch to see and ask questions, and that's what they want. That's how the business works. Never tell the left hand what the right hand got planned.
I feel like Don Davis is watching this podcast right now, and he's like, that should be what I'm thinking. I really worry that this guy. I really worry that he's not this. You know, I worry that he's not thinking this, and that Corey has just given him a total strategy now.
Now
I think Don Davis is ordering a PFL belt on like Kijiji now.
Temu.
You know, on Temu. Yeah. And he's praying to God that belt comes in on time, because like I don't think he has anything planned, man. I really don't.
That could be another one too. That's a poker face.
What
You fake it till you make it. They keep bluffing, and you fold. Guess what? You fold, you ain't got to see my cards. I'm gonna fold too. Hey, that's it. Keep bluffing you.
It's just over.
Bluffing, so nothing happens.
So wait a second, Corey. Are you saying at the end of the Nurmagomedov versus Hughes fight, they're gonna go and then they'll just turn the camera off?
They just gonna be like, oh, congratulations! Like in the winner by unanimous decision, Usman is camera's gonna be done. Like, wait, what now?
And that's it.
The stream gonna end, and they're gonna come on in the post fight like, oh, we lost signal. The pay-per-view and this, everything messed up. We're sorry, guys. Tune in next week when we announce.
That's the ultimate cliffhanger. They don't even show you that. What about the Bellator? I mean, the reason why the Champion Series was supposed to happen in 2024, Corey, is because you wanted the Bellator belts to be defended, maybe change hands, maybe a champion shows his dominance, like Corey Anderson, like beats a few contenders during 2024. And it was supposed to be February of 2025. You would have the PFL versus Bellator champs card where you would take on the season winner, right, of light heavyweight, which is a guy that you have already beaten, Dovletsan Yagshmuradov. That's dude.
Yagshmuradov, whenever you pronounce it. I was doing it. Yagshmuradov.
Yagshmuradov. So you were, I mean, did you think though, like when you're sitting back and you're training every day, but you're not fighting, but you're watching this PFL season go on, did you think, hey, in February, I'm going to fight the winner of this season? Like, was that in your head?
Yeah. I coach college wrestling too. And all the coaches were saying, yo, what's next? What's next? And the last thing I said before the end of the year was, yo, they doing the finale day after Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure they're going to announce Chamber of the Champ. So we're going to have an answer soon, y'all. Stop asking me. And then when it happened, and everybody started messaging me like, yo, they ain't say nothing. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're going to announce it in an interview or something. And I reached out and like, yeah, we're not doing that this year. Like, what? Then that's when they came out. Well, as you see, how you going to do it? They ain't got no Bellator no more. They didn't know they was crossing out Bellator. Like, I talked to people that didn't even know that in Bellator that didn't know that Bellator was getting closed. It was like, I had no clue. Like, we all heard the rumors, but nobody said anything to me. Like, dang, that's crazy.
But when did you hear that there was no Bellator versus PFL champ card? Like, when did you know that?
I messaged right after New Year's. I messaged somebody.
Okay. But I mean, that would have only given you like 5 weeks notice for the fight.
Last year, they only gave us 6 weeks notice. Oh. We didn't hear about the Chamber versus Champ until January 4th. Yeah, because I was back coaching college wrestling, was getting ready to leave for a tournament, and they messaged me and asked if I was interested in fighting in Dubai or Saudi Arabia, wherever it was, on the Chamber versus Champ card. Like, who they got? Like, well, we're trying to find you somebody, but are you interested? Like, yes. And then they gave me Rob Wilkerson. He said no. They gave me like 4 people, and they all said no. And then all of a sudden, that's when it's like, all right, well, if nobody's going to fight you, that's when he told me, your next fight is going to be a tough title in Bellator. Don't worry about it. You don't have to fight. Your next fight can be for a title. That's what it was. We got the title. But
yeah. I mean, all right. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me because
nothing makes sense right now, man. Just go with it. Just realize that it's just a cluster right now. We don't know. Just go one day at a time. You wake up and say that my phone gonna ring and it's the call, and it ain't. It's my mom checking on me. It's like every morning the same thing. Like, the phone ring. Nope, it ain't.
No.
Well, Corey, man, I really hope all the best for you, my friend. I mean, you shouldn't have to be waiting for a fight like this. Like, it should all be lined up. There should be number 1 contenders, or you should be fighting the season winner, or you should be, being told what's next for you. And I do hope that it is. You've got your contract, which again, I think, like you said, October of 2025. So it's not that much longer. I know you posted this tweet up. This was a while ago, but this kind of explained it here because you were saying you had 6 fights over 2 years, extended to 3 years. So yeah, you've got till October 2025 to finish out those last 2 fights. And I really hope you get it, my friend. Is there anybody aside from Vadim that you would want to fight that is on the roster or that is with the PFL/Bellator right now? Anybody on your hit list?
Anybody that's on the line at this point. Luke Trainer made this little thing calling me out in the cage the last time he fought. I'll dust him off real quick. Anybody that wants this smoke, come get it. Like, I mean, they can think what they want to think, like, oh, he's washed up, he's getting old. I just turned 35. I mean, I didn't take much damage. When I get knocked out, it's just one clean hit. It's not like I'm in wars. So my body's still good. I'm going with these young guys. It's going to get to call up to UFC, and I go to UFC guys out in Vegas, and I'm still putting in work and taking to these young kids. So I just look forward to getting in there with whoever it is, whenever it is, to just show. Like, y'all thought me sitting out, I was going to sit still and age. Nah, we just trained every day and got that much better at every other art. And so get ready for it.
That's it, my friend. Yeah, I have two last questions for you, if you don't mind, Corey. One question came in from a fan, and I don't know what this means, and I apologize if this is something bad, or I don't know what this is, but it says, ask Corey Anderson about the Indians wrestling room in the metal gym at your high school.
That's where it all started, baby. In the Indians Kids Club Wrestling, we had like a metal, before they made it into a brick room, it was like a kind of like a baseball cage, like a baseball batting cage, how they have the metal fencing. Well, That's what it was. And they had like the thick metal beams where the wall pads were. So this is when I first went into the room. Who asked that? What was the person's name? Did it say the person's name? I wonder if that's one of the old coaches or something.
It's got to be someone. Hold on, let me find this here.
You had to be there. That was when I was in second or third grade. That's when my brother was in high school. He's 6 years older than me. So that's a long time ago.
His Instagram handle is ACoxy1, ACOXY1.
I wonder if that's Adam Cox, but he would have been there. I think he was around in Kids Club. He was a big football player, but I think he was around. I looked that up. A Cox. I know Adam Cox. He graduated with me from
Dude, that's got to be him. ACoxy1. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Bam, before I ask my famous last question, is there anything that you wanted to ask this man?
Just, man, I'm rooting for you. Always rooting for you. And you're a true inspiration. People should really, listen to this podcast. I mean, you talking about stability and, mentally and having faith, and also, not relying on fights to pay bills to survive, having other incomes coming in so you can survive and stay afloat, and having a great support system with your family and everything. Man, you're a true inspiration and a great person to look forward to look for young fighters to look towards as an example. So, man, thanks again for the time. I really appreciate it. It's great talking with you, and man, I wish you all the best, and go get that PFL title when they finally give you the shot.
Yeah,
appreciate it, man. I appreciate them words, but the thing is, we know how the game works. Everybody want the flashy, fancy stuff, which is why I wasn't. That's why I left the UFC, and I told them, that's just not me. I can't. You guys want me to be what I'm not. They said, we're here to sell tickets and put butts in the seats. And I said, well, that's not me. I'm here just to win. And that's what the kids want. But that's just like you tell your kids every day, work hard, this and that. But they don't want to hear that. They want to do the fancy stuff. It's going to get them on ESPN Sports Center and all that.
Yeah.
When everybody hear my story, how do more people not cheer for you and want you to succeed? Because it's not the fancy things. It's the basics.
Yeah.
I'm that jab, cross, double leg guy. That was the first thing I learned. It's the last thing I do. I don't do this fancy stuff. I ain't doing the post-conference, cutting the promo, talking trash. I'm not beating my wife. Like I said, I don't buy the Lamborghinis and renting all this stuff. I just bought my first Rolex because we had a bunch of money left over. That's an investment that I can sell. It's just, I don't buy the crazy stuff. I bought this chain 7 years ago for $300 from a buddy who had a gold shop, and that's it. It's I'm as simple as they come. I fake it till I make it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the fancy stuff. I got my family and I got my health, so I'm happy.
Dude, those are the most important things right there.
That's it. But that's not what people want to hear. They want to hear you just spent $1 million in a strip club and now you got the law after you.
That's what Bam Bam does all the time, and I tell him not to do it, Corey.
He's not John Jones.
He knows. Come on, he knows.
Okay,
I'm a family man.
Hold on. One last question before I ask you the last question. Has anybody ever reached out to Ngannou and said, "Hey, Ngannou, you're supposed to be fighting for fighters and all that"? Is that a stupid thing to think, or is that something that you might do?
Or Jake Paul.
When Patricio was going on his stuff trying to get out, I believe he tweeted and tagged them.
Yeah.
And one thing, it's funny. My wife joke about it all the time. I don't know if you heard the first Francis Joe Rogan podcast, but when my first year in Bellator, after I fought twice, I had made more money than I made in the UFC, and that's when we bought the house and started buying properties. And I said, UFC gave me the career, but Bellator gave me the life. And then Francis, he saw that, and I talked to him through my manager on video, and he told me, brother, that was so inspiring that you said that. Then he went on Joe Rogan, and he was like, oh, what happened? And he said, I don't know if you ever seen Corey Anderson's post. He tweeted, UFC gave him a career, Bellator gave him a life. And now the thing, I wanted to have a life. And my wife joked about it all the time, like, how does that feel? Like, every time, like, you the reason why Francis left the UFC, and now he say he's fighting for the people. But now he's making all this money, and we all sit on the sidelines. She started laughing, like, it's your fault. You shouldn't have said what you said on the joke. Yep. And I just started dying. Like, you're right. Like I said it, and I put that in his head. He did it. He left and got, 12, 14 million to go fight Barral, and it's like, damn, I can't go. How can I get that kind? Like, I'm getting good, but I ain't getting it like that.
Yeah. Well, look, man, after this podcast, feel free to go hit up Ngannou and say, hey, dude, get some fights for your boy Corey Anderson here, man. Like, we need some fights here. Last question, Corey, and I really appreciate all your time, my friend. It's a question that my mom used to ask me almost every day of my life growing up, so I want to ask it to you. I'm very interested to hear your answer, but on a scale of 1 to 10, Corey Anderson, how happy are you?
Oh, I'm 11, man. Like I said, if I could tell everybody all the time, if they told me right now I would never fight again, or something they came up somewhere I can't fight medically, whatever it is, I wouldn't shed a tear. You know what I mean? I got it. Fighting is the cherry on top of the life I got, man. I tell them, we wake up every day and we don't work a day in our life. I coach college wrestling voluntarily. I turn down the money so I can still be committed to fighting. Like, I work with the coach who made me who I am. If it wasn't him, I wouldn't be who I am. So I'm giving back to him as much as I can. I'm working with kids that look up to me as a fan and a mentor. I got 2 beautiful kids that look up to their dad who see all he does is work all day. He gives us this beautiful life. And I say it to my wife all the time, these kids don't know how good they got it. Like, to them, they don't even understand, like, the stuff they doing when they tell people when they get older. I'm like, wait, what? My son had been all over the place in the plane before he was 2 years old. Like, come on. It's like, and I just, like I said, my kids are happy. My kids are healthy. My wife is happy. Everybody's healthy. So at the end of the day, and I got Lord Jesus Christ in my life, I can't be any happier, man. If fighting had to leave today, like I said, we saved money. We got money, or we can start another venture. So it ain't no struggle, and I'm never scared to get my hands dirty. If I had to go back doing construction, whatever it is, I'm gonna do it. As long as my family is smiling, I'm happy. If you happy, I'm fantastic. That's all that matters.
I love it, Corey. That's an incredible answer, my friend, and I expected nothing less from you. So you know what? All the best to you. You were much happier and more so calm. I thought you were going to come on this podcast and be all angry and screaming at people, but you know, you're a happy dude, man, and you've got life figured out, my friend. So I do hope you get the fight. I do hope you get the Temu PFL belt, and when you get that belt, please do come back on this podcast and show it to us. We want to look at it, and we want to bathe in the glory.
Talk about it.
The plastic with the spinner on it. It's going. It's funny you say the Temu thing. The Bellator belt. Before I even got back from Ireland, like 5 of the stones that fell out. Like, I hit him up like, yo, were these already like this? Like, was this belt used? Was this like, no, that's new belt. Like, well, I should have figured like we missing the stone. Like, they fell out when I was walking to the airport or something. I'm like, oh my God, that should not have happened. We are so sorry. Then I looked at the bag and found out the company it was made from. And looked them up. And it's a high quality made belt, but ain't nothing crazy. It ain't no Temu, but it ain't nothing crazy. It ain't no NBA Finals cup or nothing. So, but it's
all right, man. Well,
say it again.
Did they fix the gems?
They said they sent them to me. Like, oh, we're sending you the gems and the stuff to put in it, but I never got it. So,
oh my God, still? It's been a year?
No, it's been a while. Well, all those people I was talking to, none of them with him no more. Once it got bought out, most of the people left, so I don't know who to talk to. It's in the shadow box. It looks good underneath the light. As long as you don't hold it, you don't see the blemishes. So
all right, well,
you can't take away the fact I'm the champ. That's all that matters. That's all that really matters.
That's Absolutely. True. You're the champ, my friend. All right. Thank you so much for spending the time, Corey. I know this was a big ask of you, and I really appreciate it. Bam, bam. Thank you so much. Have a good one, Corey.
Yeah. Thanks, Corey. Appreciate you, man. Have a great night.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was our interview with the incredible Corey Overtime Anderson. That interview did not go how I planned. I thought it was going to be, he was going to be very mad about PFL, about the whole situation. But you can see, man, that is a good dude. Now you can also see that Bam Bam is missing here because he had to go. We're recording this second half of the podcast on a separate day. But the show moves on. And this guest, I'm thinking that he is going to be happier with the situation of the PFL and what we're seeing. But let's see what he says. He is a English gentleman. Heavyweight mixed martial artist. He's been a pro since 2008. He joined Bellator back in 2013, went on a 12-5 streak there with them before entering the PFL season in 2024, made it to the semifinals, and now he is back. He's just announced that he is going to be in the 2025 tournament with PFL. So I'm so happy to have this man here today. Please welcome Linton Big Swarm Vassell. How are you doing, my friend?
Introduction. Thank you. Great introduction, man. Appreciate that.
Man, we had to move the camera back here for you because you're such a big man. Gotta fit you all in.
The whole screen.
Damn. Look at you. Big Swarm. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very good, man. And I'm excited to finally be back in in the smart cage, should I say. It was a busy year last year.
Yes.
But it was nice to have a little break, obviously after, August. Now back to full training and getting ready for April.
That's right. And so that is the news, right? The news is that they've changed the season to the tournament. Yeah. You win, you move on. You lose, you're out.
Yeah.
You said in a reel on your Instagram, and I'll put your Instagram here. If you are not following already Mr. Linton Big Swarm, make sure you do. He's at LDV_the Swarm. That is you on Instagram. Follow him there. You posted a video that says you were really happy with the change from the season to the tournament. Can I understand why you're happy about it?
Yeah, the reason I'm happy about it is because I wasn't a fan of the point system, because it was sort of like you had to win that first round to get maximum points.
Yep.
Yeah, we all want to go in there and finish fights off. And I think I went in there in the first fight, and I went in there and I put everything, and then I ended up gassing and, ended up losing that first fight. And then the second fight I won, but I went the distance. So I didn't go through, but I ended up obviously going to the semifinals because the guy I beat ended up not fighting because I guess injury, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So you haven't got that on your mind, having to finish it in the first round. You just fight, you win, you go through. And I think that's how it should be. We're all athletes and we're all like at the top level. You're going to sort of stall things as well. And Modowski, I wouldn't say he stalled it, but at the end of the day, he knew he was going through, regardless if he lost, because he had more points than me. So it sort of makes it more of a stale fight. That's the way I see it. So you win, you go through, you lose, you go home, and that's how it should be.
Right. I get it. And you know what? It's really interesting because I haven't thought about it in that sense. But yeah, you can kind of like play mind games with how you're going to win the fight or what you're going to do. And like you're saying, if you're stressing out about earning that fast five or whatever they call it for those points, game plan changes, right? And that's not what a true mixed martial artist is. I also don't like that there were no elbows. I mean, isn't that a problem for a big man that goes to Thailand to train?
Well, it's not just I go to Thailand to train. Elbows has been a big part of my career and finishes. And not doing them, it really is one of those things that you sort of take in a few points away, kind of like a few weapons, not points, a few weapons away. Because I did drop Modowski in the second round. And then when I got on top of him, I wanted to elbow, but I couldn't elbow, so I had to hammer fist.
Right.
And not saying I would have won just from the elbows, but it makes you double think. Oh, I can't elbow. have to do this. And where I could have probably elbowed, I couldn't. So then the fight would be a little bit stale again. Right. I end up winning the fight regardless. But it has made me happy that they got elbows in, because now I think not just myself, but everyone can use maximum tools now. Yeah. And it's definitely a game changer.
Definitely. Can I ask you, I'm assuming now in PFL, you're going to be under the new rule set where you get 12 to 6 elbows?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that smile. All that look at the smile.
All that goodness. Yes.
Yeah, for people that are only listening on audio, the smile on the Big Swarm's face when I said that. Because here's the thing, Linton. I'm surprised so far in watching the cards so far since that rule has changed.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many fighters really take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And I think, because kind of like what you're saying in the PFL, you were kind of like, okay, you're there, you're about to go, and you're like, oh, my brain goes, wait, I can't throw the elbow, and now you got to switch. There's that little glitch, right, in the brain.
Yeah. Cool.
I feel, now I'm not a fighter in any way, okay, but I feel like people, their brain might still be glitching to remember they can throw the 12 to 6, because I was talking with Bam Bam, like right when that rule came out, and we said, hey, if you're on top of a dude, and that guy's blocking like that, with the arms in front of the face, that 12 to 6 elbow is just going to split right through that guard.
Yeah.
If you get your first knockout in the PFL tournament with a 12 to 6 elbow, I want you to say Timmy B from the Fight and Sight podcast told me to do it.
Yeah. I will do, man. Yeah. And I also think maybe, they're probably like glitching, like you said. And I think also with elbows, you do have to train it. Yeah. You do have to train it. I think it's one of those things you do have to go and train, like throwing a jab, a takedown defense, submission. You can't just not really train it and then expect it all to flow. And I've been using it for a long time, my ground and pound, been working on it for a long time. So, like I said, I'm really excited to be able to throw some elbows, and I'll definitely throw that 12 to 6 for my man Timmy B.
Thank you, my friend. Now, let me ask you, like I said in the intro here, we just met Mr. Corey Anderson, who, as I told you, boy, oh boy, was that a pleasant dude. Very happy, very laissez-faire, very like, hey, it's God's plan, and whatever happens to me, happens to me. I thought he was going to be angry at the situation. I thought he's going to be angry at not getting his opportunities, but no, this guy seems very content and very happy, and I'm so happy for him as a result. I had you on as well on this episode because you seem like you're happy. You seem like you're happy with the situation. Can you explain to me, in your contract, as you moved into PFL, my only question is, once you beat someone in the tournament, okay, so you're going to face the first guy, God bless that guy, he's doomed. Yeah. He loses to Linton Vassell. What happens to that guy for the remainder of the year? Is there anything in the PFL fighters' contracts that will guarantee you another fight if you lose?
Yes. So in my contract, if things don't go your way, then you're guaranteed 2 fights for the year. They're not just going to leave you, stale, and then you have to wait till the following year. They have give you so a tournament. You win a tournament, that's 3 fights. Obviously, you ain't going to want to fight again after that. But if you have 1 fight, you don't win, you're guaranteed 1 more fight through the year. So 2 fights.
Okay, so a 2 fight minimum. We gotta manifest good things. So we're not saying you lose. We're saying the other guy loses. The other guy.
Yeah, of course. But obviously I've got to be realistic as well. The way the world works, there's points and everything, but I'm confident I'm going to go in there and smash him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have signed the contract. Always confident I'm going to win. And this year, 2025, is Big Swarm's year.
That's right, my friend. Now, okay, so that's very interesting because, look, nobody has explained anything about what's happening. All they really said was that there's this tournament. But in my brain, I was like, okay, but what happens to these guys? Yeah. Because here's the thing. People like Corey or people like other people that we've been talking to where they're not getting fights in Bellator / PFL. So if you're saying, okay, my opponent, when he loses, he's guaranteed 1 more fight. Yeah. It's not in the tournament, obviously, because the dude is ousted. So you think that person is going to get another fight on one of these new Bellator / PFL cards. Well, not Bellator, but like these separate cards.
Yes. And I'm not 100% sure, but say you do a good fight, you may even be allowed back in the tournament again if someone gets injured. I don't know that, but I'm going to guess. It'll be the same as the PFL tournament last year. You know, say someone gets injured, you do a good fight, then they'll probably give it to you, I guess. I think that's how it would work.
Okay.
But I know there's, minimum 2 fights.
And now, like I said, you are happy to be in this tournament. I'm correct in saying that?
Yes, 100%, yep.
Why? Now, my question is, you were scheduled to fight at Bellator 300 to face the champion Ryan Bader. That fight did not happen. Would you not have preferred to get that title shot?
100%. I was even speaking to my coach and saying, let's go for this. You know, I'm still number 1 contender for Bellator, but Bader was away doing a movie. And by the time it sort of came back to him finish and the tournament had finished, which I was in, Bellator was gone. Well, not gone, but Bellator was like, hey, we've got 1 show left.
Right.
You're not on it, so you're not going to get it.
So, but now, and this is the thing, that the MMA community is a little bit weird because they keep saying, rest in peace, Bellator. Bellator is gone. Yeah. In truth, though, it was bought out over a year ago. We knew that Bellator was being essentially going to be rebranded.
Yes.
Right? So people are saying Bellator is gone, but it's not really gone. It's just rebranded because Don Davis has said that PFL is going to run separate events with title belts.
Yeah.
Which we don't know what they're going to look at. We were joking with Corey Anderson that they're probably ordering them off Temu as we speak.
Of what? Tulum?
Temu. What do you...
Temu.
Wait, you're...
Is it Tulum, I think? Is it? No, you might be right.
Or like...
So Temu, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Or like, what do you have in England? Alibaba? Alibaba Express? AliExpress?
No idea. I've never used Alibaba. I've heard of Temu.
You've heard of Temu? Okay.
Yeah,
in Canada, we have like Kijiji and stuff, or like, silly things. But okay, but they haven't explained where these belts are going to be or what's happening. So technically, when you finish the tournament, you may be going after the PFL heavyweight champion.
Yes, maybe. Again, I don't know, but yeah, you could be right.
Right. So you need to call that guy out, whoever that is.
Yeah.
And are you... is it weird that Bader has never fought in the last many hundreds of days, Linton? I was talking with fellow Bellator heavyweight Daniel, the American Predator James.
Yep.
And we were saying, and we were joking because if you look on Wikipedia, it says that Ryan Bader is the longest reigning champion of all time. And I'm like, because he never fights. Yeah,
no, that's 100% correct. Not talking bad about the guy, but if you don't fight, then of course you're going to be the longest reigning champion.
Yeah.
No, but it's true though.
I know.
You need to fight. And again, he had a movie career deal, so he did do that. But I think you need to be active as a champion. And if you're not fighting, then why not do an interim title or something like that? Or if you're not going to fight, we have to take it away from you. You have to at least fight twice a year as a champ, I think. Otherwise, the belt doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah. No, definitely. I agree with you because here's the thing. Like, if you've got commitments and you got things to do, or if you're injured.
Yeah.
I mean, taking a movie, though, is a little bit different than being injured. Injured is unexpected. The movie, hey, I'm choosing to step away. Yeah. So you're right. Maybe I need to give it up. But at the very worst, the Champions Series cards should have title belts on the line. And why not make a heavyweight interim title so that when Bader comes back...
Like, while you're away, we're going to do an interim title. When you're back, you get to fight the interim champion. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
Obvious.
Or, when you do come back, you're scheduled to fight Linton at this date. And that'll be the last card or whatever. But, they didn't do that. So, it's a bit... I don't know the word I'm looking for, but, it's a bit crazy to say... is the longest champion without fighting, for maybe a good year. Was it a good year?
Yeah. No, much longer than a year. It was.
Sorry.
Sorry.
He did fight
the champ versus champ card that's supposed to be in February. Right.
That's right.
So
he did fight.
Yeah. Because remember, the Bellator titles should have been changing hands throughout the year. And then in February, you would fight at the annual card, which would be the PFL season champs versus the Bellator champs.
That's correct.
But that card is not happening this February, in part because none of the belts really got defended. Liz Carmouche was in the season, so didn't defend her bantamweight belt. Bader never defended. Several people, right, were kind of out. Pitbull, right, fought one fight maybe. So
when you say it like that, it's crazy.
It's crazy. I am surprised. Here's the thing. I'm surprised that PFL allows you to come on the Fight Insight podcast, because now that you and I are best friends, you'll see on all the PFL and Bellator posts.
Yeah.
I always, like, especially on those Champion Series cards during the year, I was writing going, there's supposed to be 2 championship belts per card. And there was, sometimes there was 1, sometimes there was 0. This one coming up with Usman. With Usman and Hughes, there's 1 belt. Yeah. Where's the second belt?
They did say, there was supposed to be multiple
2 titles.
Fights. Yeah, that's it, minimum 2. So minimum of 2. I wonder why this has happened. You know, Corey should have been on there. Pitbull should have been on there. Bader. There's many people, that could have been on there.
Yeah, the women's titles, right? Like, where's the women's titles? Let me ask you. The MMA public is not the greatest fan of Don Davis.
Yeah.
Can I get your, like, have you had dealings with the man? What is your general sense?
Yeah, I never met him, so I can't actually say a good or bad word about him. Just thank you for employing me. But other than that, I've never met the guy. Is
that strange to you that you've never met him, though?
A little bit, yeah. At least meet him once, I would have thought. But no, never met him. I never even seen him at the event, if you know what I'm saying.
And I mean, he would see you because you'd be towering over everybody. So it's not like you can't.
You got a big bald head as well. So
yeah.
But no, met the guy.
You know, I do commentary for a great organization out on East Coast Canada, Fight League Atlantic, and there's 2 co-owners there, Derek and John. Greatest dudes. And man, they are at every card. They're greeting all the fighters. They're everywhere, right? We do see that generally with Dana White in the UFC. You see him everywhere doing things. Is it? I mean, I'm not trying to say anything bad, but it is. But it is strange though that, like, maybe he's never called you just to say, "Hey, I'm the new dude."
Yeah, never. No, never.
Do you think he's scared of you because you're a mean guy?
Maybe he might be scared of me, but I think maybe he's just, obviously a quiet guy, I guess. He's probably got other people dealing with that part of his side, But that mean I'm not going to speak to him at some point. I may even meet him at the next event. But since I've been with them since April, I can't say I've met him, no.
Has anyone called you on his behalf?
Well, I always speak to my manager, so my manager's always one I speak to.
Oh,
and then a few PFL representatives will call and stuff. They don't say it's from Don, but I guess you could probably say it is. No, you're saying that. You're like, mate.
No, you're too much of a. See, you're too much of an English gentleman. You're giving too much credit. For me, I'm like, no.
You got to see it from both ends. I don't know. We don't know for sure. That's all I'm going to say. We don't know for sure. But,
So, aside from no heavyweight title being on the line that you were able to get, right, and not being able to fight Bader and whatnot, I do have to ask, are you mad that it should have been you fighting Vadim Nemkov on this weekend's card? Because why is there some random heavyweight belt between him and Tim Johnson?
Well, to be honest, I'm not mad because I did get my fights. I got my 3 fights.
Sure.
So I'm not mad that I didn't. I think if I didn't fight, then obviously why aren't I fighting? But no, it never got presented to me either. And I was expecting to get the Bader fight. I really was. Either by the start of this year, I thought, Bader's coming back. His movie's finished. I heard he had, I think, 1 more fight left or something like that. Still the champ. So I was more directed to that. And, so I was never offered the Nimkov fight.
Okay. Now, do we know what movie Bader is in? Because you've referenced it now. Do we know? Is it a big movie? What is it? Is it something good?
It's the Mark Kerr movie.
Oh,
Mark Kerr movie. I think Rock is Mark Kerr. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Now,
I don't know if Bader's playing himself or another character.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. That said, one of the questions that I had for you is, how come you are not in a Guy Ritchie film?
Dave needs to get on this. Dave Martin. He needs to get on this, Dave.
Who's Dave?
My manager.
Dave Martin, what are you doing? Dude, are you... Wait.
Dave Martin, what are you doing, mate? You got Bader a contract. You know what I mean? Get me something.
Now, the reaction that you gave, again, for people on audio, was of utter disappointment. And it was like, that was not a shocking question to you. Have you been trying to get into...
Yeah, I've asked Dave. He said, he'll see what he can get. But yeah, I'd love to be in some movies.
Dude, you would be perfect.
Thank you. And fighting is not forever. So, if I can get a few movie deals.
Yeah, man. You got the look, you got the charisma, you're a massive dude.
Yeah.
And okay, for people that don't know Linton Vassell and you're listening to this now, this is a huge man heavyweight, but you are ripped to hell.
Yeah, thank you.
Get this guy in a Guy Ritchie film. Yeah. You should be beating up Jason Statham.
You know what?
Immediately.
I see Jason in all these movies. I'm like, he needs to get bust up. I need to be that man. I need to be that man,
Yeah.
He can win in the end. I don't mind being the villain and stuff. I don't mind being the villain and that. But yeah, it needs to happen. So
yeah.
Jason Statham, Dave Martin, let's get this on. Let's get this signed. Let's get this contract signed, man.
I like it. I like the call out.
I could be the brick, because it's always the something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like the beekeeper or something, or the transport. I could be the bricklayer, because I used to be a bricklayer. So
I mean,
he'd come onto my site or something and try and take it over.
The script is writing itself, Linton. Look, last question I want to ask you, man. Or I've got two questions, but Francis Ngannou.
Yes.
Here's my bad take. Okay, a lot of people get mad at me.
Yeah.
I feel like he went into PFL. He stole all their money. Really put them in a bad spot, because
you're not the only one who thinks that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so it's me and two other guys. He takes like a bunch of millions, right, out of this promotion that's trying to grow. You are sitting here right now wearing the PFL shirt. I really appreciate you doing that. And look, you're a good man. I've got my Fight League Atlantic's cards over here. I'm representing my brand when I can. I've got my Fight Insight t-shirt here, which you can buy on millions.co. Francis Ngannou, he has not done anything to promote PFL since he signed the contract, since he fought his one fight. Like, he's not really out there promoting PFL as I thought that he would, being the fighter liaison or whatever it is he is. Any thoughts on that as a guy that you may one day fight Francis?
Well, I think what he did was purely a business move. He was able to box, get his money, and then PFL gave him obviously a deal to fight. I can never say his name. Was it Rene?
Barao? No. What was that guy's name? Renan Barao, right?
Okay.
No, is that the UFC guy now? No, I'm mixing it up.
No, that's not him. Anyway, let's not butcher his name.
No.
He fought him, he got his money, and then obviously he's doing what he's doing right now. Can I be mad at that? No. The reason I say no is because it is a business, and if they offered me that, I'm telling you, I'll do the same thing. If they're going to pay me some money to fight one time, I'm going to fight. So, but he should be saying some stuff, I think. Yeah, he should be saying some stuff.
It's different. It's different if you're just a fighter who goes in and gets a contract and they decide to pay you $12 million. That's different, and good on you. But he was going there as the fighter representative.
Yeah,
I left UFC because I wanted fighters to be able to wear their sponsors, and I wanted them to get healthcare. And now I'm going to PFL, and I'm going to do all this for fighters.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you've got fighters like my last guest, Corey Anderson. You've got Pitbull and other fighters that are publicly saying we need help, we need to get fight.
Yeah.
Where is Ngannou on all that?
Yeah, makes you think, where is he? Because he just needs to say something. And if that's what he said he's going to do, then at least go ahead and start putting that into place.
And I feel like if you're Don Davis and you paid him all this money to fight, Renan Ferreira was the guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Renan Ferreira. So you're going to pay him all that money. Part of agreeing to that contract was probably thinking, this guy is now going to be an ambassador for our brand.
Yeah,
he's going to represent. He's going to wear that PFL T-shirt around, right?
Yeah. And it makes you think, what's he doing next? I don't know what he's doing next. If he's fighting again, PFL, if he's acting, if he's boxing, I don't know what he's doing.
If you had to guess who he would fight, you think he's going to fight a regular fighter, or is he going to fight Jake Paul?
Kill Jake Paul.
He's got to fight.
He's or something.
But I just don't. I mean, I would love for him to fight. I would love for him to fight. I would love for him to fight you.
I guess they may keep forth like a super fight or something.
But what does that even mean?
I don't know. Maybe you know. Because I know they keep talking about John Jones.
That's never going to happen.
I know, but I'm trying to think of. I don't know how else they're going to put him back in there. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's either Mike Tyson or Jake Paul. Like it's like I don't know. Like because the thing is like it has to be something that generates money. It has to be something.
They're gonna fight Mike Tyson.
Who knows, man? It's got to be something. But okay. Look, I've kept you long, and I am so appreciative of being able to meet you. I'm so thankful that you're coming on. Oh, I know someone that was challenging Francis Ngannou was on this podcast. Rafion Stotts. Rafion Stotts, the little bantamweight in Bellator. He's like the funniest dude. He said
that Francis.
Oh yeah, he said he will get crushed for $1 million. Look. I'm going to ask you one last question, and I'm going to ask you one last question. I do hope that you come back on the podcast though in the future, my friend, because I do want to follow your career around, and you're a great guy. The final question I want to ask you is a question that my mom used to ask me almost every day of my life growing up, so I want to ask it to you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you
right now?
Yeah.
About what though? About life or
however you want to take this question.
Now, solid 9.
Nice.
Solid 9. Life's good. I'm healthy. Family's good. Life is good. I'm getting ready to fight soon. So there's nothing for me to be mad about, to be honest.
Good, my friend. And what brings you happy aside from all those things that you said are good, but what brings you happiness as well?
Just my health for one. Obviously, okay. I'm 41 now. Waking up, being as healthy as I am, I really am thankful, because you know all these diseases and illnesses and viruses go around, injuries. I've been doing it for a long time, and to be able to still do this at a top level, and not be hurt or sick, I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. That is true, my friend. And I'm really happy for you. When I turned 40, it was all over, dude. I got my knees are
40,
broken.
Okay.
I'm 48, man. 48. I'm falling up.
I would have thought that. Respect,
dude,
man.
During this podcast, I started getting aches and pains. That's how bad it is.
Well, you need to go and get red light therapy or something, or massage.
Every time.
You need to look after yourself. But
every time Every time my wife says she needs red light therapy, I take my mouse from my computer and I rub it on her. It's got a red light on it.
You're a good husband.
Yeah, thank you.
I see Street Fighter in the back.
Yeah.
It works?
Yeah, man. You don't have one of these?
I don't have one of them. I used to play it on Xbox and stuff.
Nice.
Who's the guy?
If I'm playing on this, I'd probably use Ryu.
Okay.
What about you?
You say Ryu. I say Ryu. I'm a big fan of Guile.
Guile, okay. Yeah.
Guile, M. Bison. I used to play with Ken quite often.
I like, if I'm playing in the newer versions, I like Sakura. You know, she's
woman.
she's like the girl Ryu,
okay.
but she does like a spinning kick. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Mine.
Well,
and
one day maybe we can have a little game, man.
Dude, we'll get that started, man.
I like computer games.
At the other end of my office here, I've got a Mortal Kombat machine as well.
Ah, yeah, Sub-Zero and Katana.
Sub-Zero and Katana.
I love Mortal Kombat. That's the best one. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat's the best, dude. Scorpion's my guy.
Good as well. Yeah.
Oh man.
Funny, I'm actually just downloading Mortal Kombat 1.
Okay, yeah. This is the new Mortal Kombat 1.
The new one.
My machine is like the original Mortal Kombat.
The original. Okay, yeah. Liu Kang as well. Classic.
Oh yeah.
Just the forward punch, forward kick. Simple.
Easy.
Easy work. Easy work.
Now, look, Linton, I will see you on this podcast again. Maybe I'll see you at an arcade to play some Street Fighter against you. But dude, lovely to meet you, my friend. Good luck in the PFL.
Appreciate it.
Good luck in this tournament. Go kick ass. Go get that 500,000. Go get your title shot against Bader or whoever it is. Go get that. Go speak to Don.
Go get that win and go land some elbows.
Straight down. 12 to 6. You split that guard. You say my name on the mic. This is the thing, dude. Because you're in Thailand, you are training that style. So I know that you have to. I know that you have to train it to get natural, like you're saying, but like I feel like you're one step closer than most people. So
thank you.
Let's do it, my friend. All right. I will see you again. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. I can't believe it. That was an incredible interview. I really appreciate Mr. Linton Big Swarm Vassell. What a dude, man. Look forward to him in the PFL tournament. And there you go. You get a different sense of like what he wants out of life and the way that he's going to that tournament. Look, before we go, I want to thank all of our friends of the podcast. Look, we've had great fighters kicking ass all over the place. This weekend, we've got Big Sam fighting. Ricky Tercios fought an incredible fight at UFC last weekend. We've got a whole bunch of people. Next week on the podcast, Fight League Atlantic 18 star, a new guy making his debut in the promotion from Monterrey, Mexico. It is David Fuentes. He fights out of Azteca Fight Club. He's going to be on the podcast, and a very special guest who is making waves online. I don't want to announce it yet. You will see it here next week. It's someone that you will recognize if you're a fan of the podcast. So let's check that out. Guys, all the best to you. Be safe, be good, and I will see you next week. Thanks for checking out the show.